talk about Hollywood, I mean, where is it really? I mean, it's kind of, there's a sign up there on the hill, but it doesn't really exist.
Here, Mel Gibson slams Hollywood and talks about the fact that it is no longer relevant, with most filmmakers now working independently. Going further, Mel even pointed out the fact that Hollywood filtered what they were going to release, saying,
I guess so. I guess everything goes through a kind of a filter here. It's like a kidney.
Now, it appears his suspicions might have been proven right, since it's being alleged that Netflix and Amazon have banned a very important movie that was created to protect children.
Netflix and Amazon just turned down Sound of Freedom, one of the most popular movies of the year.
Not only has Hollywood supposedly tried to sabotage the movie and ban it, they also tried to turn its theme into a sort of conspiracy theory that should not be taken seriously.
But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory.
Mel Gibson already gave us a heads up on how Hollywood tried to filter and sabotage movies they didn't like. But why did Hollywood gatekeep Sound of Freedom? And how is that going on for them? Let's dig into the tea.
It was made by Fox before the Disney acquisition. So then Disney, they essentially didn't release it. They didn't want to release it. They sold it to this other studio, and the studio actually had to crowdfund to get a theatrical release. So,
well, from the very beginning, it appears that both Netflix and Amazon had been offered the chance to produce the movie, but they not only refused to produce it, they also refused to stream it after it was initially shelved by Disney. Right now, Sound of Freedom has been a hit with audiences, but unfortunately, it's taken years to get to this point, with Disney having shelved the movie following their acquisition of Fox. Disney were the original distributors of the film, and since they chose not to release it, Angel Studios ultimately had to release it themselves. Now, it looks like apart from Disney, other potential distributors, namely Netflix and Amazon, similarly refused to stream the film despite them being top companies in Hollywood. Producer and actor Eduardo Verástegui explained as much via Breitbart, where he began by summing up the situation with Disney and how they managed to get the rights back to the film. Unfortunately, it was still quite the journey to the big screen. I took the movie out of Disney, and then I started knocking doors with Netflix, Amazon, and other studios, and they all rejected it. Some of them didn't even answer my phone calls. I said, I have a very important project. This is for you. We want the whole world to see it, and you have the platform. You have the right platform for this movement. Please help us. It's not about the movie anymore. It's not about me. It's about the children. Eduardo literally begged Hollywood to take on the project with him, not for the sake of money, but for the sake of the message and how it was going to help children all over the world. But the one place that could have been a bigger platform for the movie turned it down.
This could have been money going to Disney, but it's also kind of suspicious. Why didn't Disney want to release this movie? Was it not in line with their branding?
The producer even claims that he had gotten too desperate to share his message, that there was a time where he nearly put the film online for free. We sent hundreds of messages from different people. Nothing. So you have two options. Either you give up, call your investors. I did what I could. Let's put this movie on YouTube for free. But then I thought they may cancel it. So should I put it on my Facebook? They may cancel it too. So I was really frustrated. Fortunately for the team, Angel Studios came around and picked up the film, and this paved the way for its eventual theatrical release. Now the film has been making a smash at the box office, and moviegoers seem quite pleased to finally be seeing the film regardless of how much others had tried to push it into the shadows. Before the film had been released, Hollywood had anticipated another disappointing year due to underperforming superhero movies, video game adaptations, and sequels receiving negative reviews. However, industry expectations were overturned by the unexpected and lesser-known thriller that was focusing on children's welfare. So far, the film has earned $85.5 million at North American theaters in just 2 weeks since its release, roughly 6 times its $14.5 million budget. It even comfortably outpaced pricey blockbusters like Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny. It's like while Hollywood is trying its hardest to allegedly gatekeep the movie, the public is trying to get a peek of the story. With its riveting take on the true story of a former government agent rescuing children from the clutches of Colombian criminals, you'd think it would be the kind of movie that everyone could get behind, but somehow it has been turned into a war between people who genuinely want to see the movie and get its message and people who don't want anyone to see it. Some have lavished the film with praise for speaking to a section of blue-collar America that they say has been snubbed by Hollywood elites, and others have called it a recruiting tool for the far right that promotes the QAnon conspiracy theory about a cabal of strays from Hollywood, a kidnapping children and harvesting their blood. What's almost as interesting as the movie itself is the reaction it seems to provoke from the mainstream media that seem determined to tear it down at any cost, said British thriller writer Will Jordan in a positive review posted to his 1.8 million subscriber YouTube channel, The Critical Drinker.
But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics.
Will Jordan was pointing out the fact that big news channels were trying to make the movie less relevant by either calling it a conspiracy created by the notorious QAnon or blatantly ignoring it. I mean, you'd think a movie that sheds light on the hidden nightmare of child trafficking would be a pretty admirable cause worthy of support. Despite its important message, the movie was actually shot way back in 2018 with funding from Mexican investors, and it was originally scheduled for release by 20th Century Fox. But that deal was canceled when Disney bought the studio in 2019, paving the way for Angel Studios to step in. The main distributor for the movie was actually social media and word of mouth, and those who heard from others about it flocked theaters to see it. We're getting messages from all over the country telling us about packed theaters, sold-out theaters, and spontaneous standing ovations for the film in numerous locations, said Brandon Purdy, Angel's head of theatrical distribution. Seeing this film has become a must, thanks to incredible word of mouth. While the movie has seen such good numbers in the box office, it has been criticized for mischaracterizing the problem of trafficking. And because of the controversy surrounding its star, Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ in 2004. Jim himself has addressed several QAnon events and supposedly promoted the conspiracy theory that the perpetrators drained their victims' blood for the hormone adrenochrome, believing it to be an elixir that wards off aging. Criticism of the film, which co-stars Oscar winner Mira Sorvino, has pitted the traditional entertainment media against the film-going public, with audiences awarding it a perfect score of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and an A+ on CinemaScore. Obviously, there were negative reviews from mainstream liberal outlets like Variety, The New York Times, and The Guardian, which called it QAnon adjacent or just plain dull. To know thousands of adults will absorb Sound of Freedom, this vigilante fever dream, and come away thinking themselves better informed on a hidden civilizational crisis. Well, it's profoundly depressing, said Rolling Stone.
Going up to people like a kid wanders in the street, they grab them in a van and they're gone. It's not a conspiracy theorist. For them to say that it's QAnon and it's fake, it's like they don't want people messing with their influx of children.
Most of the public has seen the criticism and claimed that Mel Gibson was right when he said that Hollywood filtered what was to be seen, since while it was being criticized, another film called Cuties that had also been quite controversial had been praised. Will Jordan claimed he sees hypocrisy in the criticism, contrasting the objections to the film with the support liberals gave Cuties, the 2020 Netflix drama accused of hypersexualizing young girls. It's a film that reminds us that even though there are a lot of bad people in this world doing the worst things imaginable, there are also still good men fighting to bring them to justice, he said. The film's success has happened from people telling people to go see this film because Hollywood has tried to filter it and attack it in many ways, and the audience are the ones that came out and defended it. Thanks to a grassroots marketing campaign, Sound of Freedom is the 10th highest grossing film of 2023 in the US so far. YouTuber Matt Wallace took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to share his thoughts. News alert. Netflix and Amazon Prime just turned down Sound of Freedom, one of the most popular movies of the year. They do not want the truth about pedophilia to come out, Wallace tweeted, prompting some X users to threaten to boycott the streaming services for censoring the film. Another reacted to Wallace's tweet, posting, "Amazon and Netflix should be ashamed of themselves for refusing that movie." Anyways, why do you think Netflix and Amazon banned the movie? Tell us in the comment section. Remember, this video is based on speculation and opinions. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.